Woo, time
What's
to
up?
take a breather.
Nope. Everything's fine. Totally fine.
I thought so. Level 8.
No, that's level 80.
Oh, you're right. The 8 is in front of the 0. I guess
It's
teleport
real
back
dark
to
and
town.
sinister over here. You going back to town? All right.
There you go.
Hmm?
I'd tab out again.
Oh, okay.
Why?
I don't know why.
Welcome.
Me complaining about
Oh, okay.
lagging.
Many,
Hey, mango! I like mangoes. I'll take that's a bad trade, by the way,
Why's that?
because dumplings are, depending on the day, but most days they're better than fried rice.
That entirely depends on what the dumpling is filled with, in my opinion.
You know, you make a good point there.
Or if it's even filled with anything at all, it could be like a potato dumpling.
Oh, those are lies filled with sad. Those are dumplings filled with sadness. To be honest, they're not edible.
What are you talking about?
Dumplings filled with sadness.
Have you only had bad ones? You've only had bad ones.
Also, I did remember to bump up I bumped up my mic gain, actual mic gain, and the decibels in OBS. So hopefully it should just be
we'll
better,
see how
better on average.
We'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah. So anyway, back to Pokemon.
Yeah,
we were interrupted
Pokemon.
for quite a while. So a cool thing so
What was I going to say?
I don't know. But
It's
my
gone.
thing was, look, I don't mind that the game is set inside the city and it's just the city and only the city.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't, but I can accept that it's not, or like that it is only the city. It really depends on how they manage to pull it off. Which I have
It depends
zero
on how it
trust in.
shakes out. I actually like the idea. Well, I mean, to be fair, it's
So
set entirely inside the city, except we've already, said that there's going to be zones for you to find Pokemon. So is it gonna be that different if it's just buildings on the sky in the skybox?
Yeah, like I said, it's okay, and depending on how they manage to accomplish it and how they pull it off, it could be good or it could be bad. I have zero trust in them though. They will have to show me that they know what they're doing. I don't think they do, because while it is really cool about the like the little elevator thing. And that's pretty neat. Like you just warp up to the top of the buildings. Like, that's cool. I like that. But did you look into at all that little jumping animation, like the double floating jump thing?
Double floating jump thing. Was there more video than shown in the Pokemon Day presentation that I didn't see?
No, it was in the one I showed you.
Well, the one you showed me just the trailer, or
It is
was
just
there
the trailer,
more video?
and it's in that one. But in the
Am I
presentation,
crazy?
there is more video.
Did I still have 6 a.m. brain when I watched
Probably.
the presentation?
So
Like that.
The trailer I sent you, just the actual Pokemon game trailer, has what I'm talking about in it. But if you watch the actual presentation, there is more to the game, just a bit more, after the trailer they show and they talk about.
All right, I'm gonna click on the trailer again. We're gonna see what we can see.
Because
It's a minute
after,
long, so.
it's a little bit after the elevator part that I'm talking about.
All right, I'm just gonna. Okay, so first things first, right?
Bird up, bird up.
Right in the opening. The grass, actually, aside from the resolution being a bit low, looks fine.
Like, I don't know what about it that bugs me, but it bugs me.
Like there's actual dimensionality to it. It's not a flat texture like in this game
Cool.
that you're looking at right now.
Oh, I don't
So
mind if
it's better. It's better than
it's better than it
what
was
is
in
this?
Arceus.
It's better than PSP. It's better than PSP graphics, slightly, right? We're at PS2 graphics.
But it is still PS2
Ugh.
graphics.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. So hold on. I'm going through.
Yeah.
I'm looking. So interestingly enough, the texturing on the buildings looks completely fine.
Yeah, it looks fine. I don't like the style choice, but it looks fine.
Like actually though, like the floors, if inside, the floors look fine. No complaints.
Yeah, it's not just me though. It looks like the trailer's
the
in 24
water-
FPS, right?
The water looks decent.
Yeah, like they've
Like, here's-
improved the
there's a shot
graphics,
here-
but
there's a
not
sh-
enough for me to be happy
Yeah.
about it.
Well, no, just like I'm just gonna go over everything.
Yeah, that's
The
fair, that's
water
fair.
looks decent. You can actually see the Pokemon distorting the water around them when they move.
Yeah.
The grass in this shot, I'm at 16 seconds. It looks like classic Pokemon tall grass converted to 3D,
It looks a
which
little
is a
off to me,
which is a
but-
stylistic choice.
Yeah, I don't like the stylist choice, and it looks off to me.
And you can love that or hate that, but I don't think it's inherently bad. I think that's a preference.
Yeah.
I like it because I always wanted to see that sort of tall grass that they had in Hoenn converted to 3D. They never did it.
Fair. Yeah.
Like, until you get back to Hoenn in Gen 6, but that's back to a top-down perspective and no 3D camera. So, or no, like, full camera control. So, I like it. Okay? The ground, like, the dirt texture leaves a bit to be desired. And, again, looking at the buildings in the background, I'm at 18 seconds in the trailer. It's too uniform. It doesn't look bad, but it's too uniform. There's, like, the building is just the window tile copy-pasted 50 times. Like, there's
Yeah,
no
if
variation.
you-
There's no windows that are open. There's no, like, curtains in any of the windows. Anything that, like, it's so, like, it's the texture is well done, but it's done cheaply.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. The character models look fine.
They look fine. Yeah.
The Pokemon models, I'm glad that they went to, I don't know if you noticed this, but the desaturated, lifeless messes that were from Gen 6 through 9, well, 9, Gen 6 through 8, they put the saturation back in. They look like the Gen 5 and lower sprites in terms of color.
Yeah, I did not notice that, but you're right.
They look
now that I
better.
think about it.
They look better. Now, now at about 28 seconds, we're at a shot of, like, some actual fighting. Okay, so the plants themselves, I see 3 different trees, which is already a good sign. Three different kinds of tree,
Yeah.
right? The grass, like the 3D grass and the bushes, look acceptable. The grass floor texture is a little rough. The stone texture of the road, like there's like what do you want to call it? Like the curb looks okay. The gutter, which is like smaller stones, looks okay. The big stone texture, that's like the main road, looks kind of bad. It's like they
Yeah.
don't have. It's like they don't have any like texture randomization. It looks like the texture's just stretched to fit the road. Is that the problem? They knew about this stuff on the N64. Mario 64 has features, like the N64 has features where you can like do stuff to the Mario 64 grass texture to make it look better than this. but it looks like they just have a grass texture, and then it's stretched to fit, like, the rectangle that is the texture.
You know? Yeah.
I hope that's not the case, and there's something else going on.
It's likely the case.
Well, look. The fact that, like, all the details on all the buildings look so nice compared to this makes me think something's going on here. And they're not this incompetent by choice. Or other way around. They are this incompetent by choice.
I think
and it wouldn't be incompetence in that case. But there is something going on that I am not aware of. Because just okay, go to 31 seconds in the trailer if you're following along, and look at the crossroad, the road that goes from left to right across the screen. That looks totally fine. And yet the road the player's standing on looks like trash. I don't understand it. Okay, that elevator. Okay, yeah, that elevator. Now I know what elevator you're talking about. But look, the roofs look totally fine. I have no complaints about those roof textures.
Yeah, they're
a little boring.
Effect is actually pretty cool.
They're a little boring, but there's color. Like, it's not a uniform color. And then if you go to 44 seconds in the trailer, like, that brickwork looks nice, even if for whatever reason the ground, like the grout, somehow looks really low res. I don't get that, but
Switch needs to download more VRAM.
It might need to download more VRAM. Switch 2 might make this actually run well. But, like, do they have a method of up-resing textures if they're running on better hardware? I doubt it.
No, I don't.
But the frame rate might improve, which is, like, the main issue, right?
Yeah.
In the battle, like, when they're throwing out their Pokemon and when the battle is actually happening, the frame rate looks fine. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah,
but it's like some animation. It's like some animation culling that's happening when Pokemon that aren't in focus gets.
What I was gonna point out. If you go back to just after the elevator bit.
Okay.
There's a section where the player crosses like a giant gap between two buildings.
Yeah, using the So that is reusing the reusing the Rotom phone catching you from a fall animation from Scarlet Violet. Yeah, it's a reused animation in a way that it doesn't look good.
Like, it looks like there's no animation there. It just looks like the player's gliding across.
Yeah, the problem is I know what it is because they're holding the Rotom phone, and it's catching them exactly the same way it catches you. Also, they pull it out and it flashes. So I think this is just like a trailer thing.
I sure hope so. But it doesn't look good that they're just like missing.
Like, I don't think the camera's gonna be this far. Well, maybe the camera will be this far out if you do a jump, and maybe this is scripted. In which case, it really shouldn't look this bad.
It shouldn't look that bad regardless.
But I know what the animation is, and so I can see what's going on here. Right. Also, they threw their phone. So if you do, by the way, everybody, if you're wanting to go through the trailer with us here, if you press comma and period when you have a paused video, you can advance frame by frame. Yeah. If you go back to 41 seconds and you advance frame by frame, you can see what happens. They jump. They're following. They do the Rotom phone catch you animation. You can see the flash of the phone coming into existence. I wonder if it's a phone. Or if that's like a Zygarde thing. Maybe it's like a Zygarde cell or something? Because there's going to be something with Zygarde. 100% there's going to be something with Zygarde in this game. Anyway. It flashes, it comes into existence. It does the really bad, like, you're just floating. You're just floating, but you can see that their arms go back up. you can see their arms go back up, so something
Yeah.
is lifting you into the air, right? They're holding on to something.
You know what? What
and
what
then-
it could be is the camera itself is too far out to actually render the thing that's happening to the character.
Well, here's the thing. Yes, all you see is the flash of light. You don't see what they're holding. However, after the jump happens, and we're at 43 seconds, you can see their arms go to their left, and then you can actually see them throwing something behind them. It looks phone-shaped. And then they continue their jump, and they land properly.
I just don't like it. I think it looks really, really, really bad.
Oh, it doesn't look good. And you know that's going to be in the final game.
Oh,
But
yeah,
there might be an
100%.
explanation that makes it less bad. I said less bad, not good.
I still think the magnitude of how bad it is, even if it's less, is still very, very great.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm trying to think of how they could like just give the player a grappling hook or something. It doesn't
Like
feel
you
very
could,
Pokemon
you
as
could
much as I
make them
appreciate it.
you could just do the elevator thing, but just horizontally, or you can have it like
Yeah.
form a
You could-
sky bridge out of light and just have the player walk across it, or put a moving
if that was
platform
so
and have the player
this
glide
is-
across the gap.
So, I don't know if gliding would make it any better.
Like on a
or maybe
platform,
they just had
like
a hand
platform
glider,
is moving across, or like a glider.
Well,
yeah.
what moving platform? What is that? I mean, it's no less stupid than what's happening here.
But it would look so
uh,
much better,
It would look.
even if it is dumb.
It would be slower.
It
It
doesn't
would be
have
slower
to be.
than just doing the jump. Well,
You could so like you know how fast the jump is from the elevator. You could
Yeah.
have it spawn a platform on your side. You stand on it, it locks you in place, and it just kind of zips right across. Doesn't even
I
have
guess
to
you
be
could.
very slow. It could just be super
guess you could.
fast.
I guess you could.
Like,
Yeah.
There's so many other ways to do it to make it look good, and have other explanations to do it. It just looks really bad
Yeah.
with the way it's done now.
Yeah.
Maybe it looks better in the final game. Very unlikely.
Hoping, but
Oh,
they've already shown us. They've already shown us through 3 different games
Like I said,
that
I don't
this is
have
what the
hope.
game's going to look like.
If they're willing to put that
They've-
in a trailer, then that's what that's going to be.
Well,
Also, do you trust them to make it better? Unlikely.
no. So that's the thing. I don't trust them to make it better because they've
Yeah.
had 3 games to improve on stuff that people saw like this, and not once. Oh, hey,
doing
look at that!
everybody.
This building actually doesn't look boring. It's
Right.
got vines all over it.
The only
wow.
other thing about the roof section that I disliked was the mantling. I think it looked not great.
Eh.
Like you
I mean, yes, they've had
I think
40
they
years of
threw
game
it
design to
in
call
there
upon. Yes,
just
they've had
because.
40. Listen, they've had 40 years of game design to call upon to make a good mantling system,
I failed.
and they failed.
What's going on?
Maybe he'll figure it out eventually, chat. Maybe he'll figure it out eventually, chat.
I was
Maybe
so
he'll
confused
figure
for a
out.
second.
Maybe he'll figure out that one of them's holding a moon staff and one of them's holding a sun staff.
Yeah, it got me. I admit that.
Okay, so look, the thing that I said, buildings need to be more interesting. Some of the buildings are more interesting.
Yeah,
Cool.
that building that you mentioned with all the vines and stuff on it looked really cool. I like
Now,
that.
the inside hotel wallpaper looks pretty good. However, there's a plant.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Az and Floette right now.
Yeah.
Floette looks fine. Az looks fine. The plant
Not so
looks like they stretched a single leaf texture over the entire plant.
Yeah.
The flowers look fine. The leaves look awful. Minute 16. Just pause the video and look at that. How did they do that? Why does it look so bad?
Because they can get away with
Like
it.
everything else in this shot looks fine. Like the texturing on Az's clothes, the desk, the wallpaper, even like the pictures, I can see them clearly. I can see what they're depicting from here.
Plant.
How does the plant look so bad?
Great question.
Hey, look, it's 10% Zygarde. I wonder if Zygarde's gonna show up in this story.
Oh, I wonder.
So, yeah. Oh, and then they cut to, like, way more detailed, footage of something.
Also,
Like,
the,
way more detailed. Right at the end.
The canon player names are Towny and Urban.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty good, actually.
It's honestly pretty good. Like,
because they're not
I
just
didn't even
that.
realize
They're not just that, right? It's like little alterations to make them like sound like real names.
Yeah.
It's Urbane and Tawny or something like that.
Yeah. Like
that's great.
Actually kind of cool. Like that's
nice.
That's nice.
So yeah, okay. So here's the thing. Aside from the frame rate looking like it's really hurting in spots.
Yeah, it looks like it's like 24 minutes.
The flat
maximum.
and the flat textures of ground looking awful. Looking through that again and actually analyzing it, it looks better than I remembered.
So
there were 3 spots that really just screamed out to me. Bad. Like I said, the dirt texture, the asphalt texture. So the flat grass texture, the asphalt texture, and for some reason that plant in the hotel room.
Yeah.
Were just complete garbage. Everything else looked okay.
The only other thing that I have to say about that is the battle. So
yeah, the real-time battles.
They had everything lined up and yet they still failed in my eyes.
Why is that?
Because instead of having real-time action battles, which they kind of pulled off, where you control the Pokemon, you control the trainer and the Pokemon like follows you around.
Well, yeah.
I think they could have just gone the extra little bit where you could just control the Pokemon slightly. Instead of having it follow the trainer. And like, what happens when the trainer gets hit by an enemy ability?
Well,
does that matter?
It'll be like Legends. Yeah, it'll probably be like Legends. Well, here's the thing. If the trainer gets hit a few times, they'll probably get stunned. What happens when the trainer gets stunned? They can't issue commands for the Pokemon. So the Pokemon will just do basic self-preservation stuff. Dodge.
Does the enemy trainer move at all? In any of the footage that's shown?
Good question. That is actually a very good thing to point out.
I think they do.
Hold on. That is actually an incredibly good thing to point out. Do they move? Because if they don't move and it's just you and your Pokemon moving and the trainer's completely safe, that would be stupid.
I don't think the enemy trainer's completely safe. I just don't think they move, which I think is worse. In a way, it's not as well. It's still bad. I just dang it. That's the key. Oh, well, you did get 10. I'm gonna have to...
Yep, he moves.
Okay. But does he move into the middle or does he move along the edge?
Well, I mean, he moved to the right a little.
Okay.
Like there's such a small amount of this shot that like
it's inconclusive. There's not enough.
Well, it's not inconclusive. He moved.
Well, he did move, but I thought
basically don't try to ascribe any more negativity to this.
Yeah.
There's no reason to assume that they'll just sit on the outside ring of the fight.
Yeah. That's why I said it was inconclusive. There's just not enough evidence.
Well,
to show whether or not I have more of an issue than
don't try to take more issue with it than you need to. Wait until we see another trailer.
I see what you're saying.
Maybe it'll actually have some fighting.
I will wait to see if it shows more.
You can be concerned, but don't like.
I just
don't assume the worst from the get-go. To be fair, they haven't earned.
They have not earned my hopes.
They haven't earned assuming the best, they've lost that privilege a long time ago.
Why am I
But the guy
saying
moved.
words?
He only took like
He
a
did-
step.
Okay.
To
So
be fair, he only took like a step, but it was mid-fight.
Okay,
and he
so
did move.
he did move slightly, and there's not enough footage to say whether or not he will just sit and encircle the outside ring.
Yeah, it's true, but like we don't have to assume that he will either.
Yeah, that's fine. So my concern with the battling is they could have just made it action battles, like Yu-Gi-Oh style. The players just sit
I get it.
across from
I
each
get it.
other, and then you control the Pokemon.
I get it. They could have.
They could have just gone the extra bit and made it an action Pokemon combat. Instead, they have it the Pokemon trailing the trainer, and you gotta like fight with commands, and like they could have done more with that, and hopefully that it is done more with that. But from what the very limited footage, it is very limited, shows, I think it's half-assed. It looks to me like it's half-assed, and they could have just gone the extra mile.
We don't
Or
know
I hope-
what the
I
battle
hope-
system
I
actually
hope
looks
to
like
see.
yet.
I hope to see more.
We don't know what the battle system actually looks like yet. Again, we don't need to get negative on them for stuff we don't know about. Once the battle system is
Oh.
actually explained, you can hate on them. But wait until that point.
I want to hope, but I cannot anymore.
No, I'm not asking you to hope. I'm just asking
know.
you to
I
temper
want,
your disappointment.
I want to, but I can't anymore.
Temper your disappointment.
But
This
hey,
is honestly rewatching this.
If it's good, then
Yeah, if
I
it's
will go
good-
back and say, "Hey, I was wrong." That's fine.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
I have negative.
No,
outlooks on
like
everything.
they've been screwing after Let's Go. They have screwed up every time.
Yeah.
With only the gameplay of Legends Arceus redeeming any amount of any of these games. Like the Scarlet Violet had a cool world. Legends Arceus had a cool systems. Sword and Shield existed, I guess, and they were all brought down by their performance.
Okay, so it is fire I need for this.
Is that what it says?
I like this question marker.
Yeah, it's a question mark because we don't know what to do. Anyway, point is, rewatching the trailer and really analyzing it. Graphically, looks better than I remembered. The game's not happy when you go into menus.
It
Just
really
so you
does
know.
not like it. No.
Okay, better than I initially thought. Now that being said, the frame rate still looks like it could be smoother. Hopefully it doesn't just straight up
It does look like
turn
it's
to garbage.
It does look like it's like 20 or 24 FPS or something.
Let me go back to the very beginning because there was a spot where it didn't look good.
It was when they fought the first.
No, it was
when they
right at
saw
the
first
beginning. It was
Pokemon.
right.
Right
It
at
was
the
right at the beginning. That Sliggoo looked fine. Where was the Pokemon that didn't look good? Those claw. What is it? Claunchers. Those Claunchers look fine.
It was the
Furfrou looks fine. The Sandiles look fine.
like, no, it was like right at the beginning with the
Stars
bunny.
look fine.
The very 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 start.
Totodile looks fine. Chikorita
Right.
looks fine. Bunnery. Yeah, was it right here?
I just stuck here now.
No, that looked okay. Where was the like 3 FPS Pokemon that I was misremembering apparently?
Oh, I wasn't talking about 3 FPS Pokemon. I'm talking about like the frame rate overall for the whole game.
Well, I'm looking at it
Looking
again.
bad at then.
I don't know, the frame rate, like, okay, that camera zoom was a little rough, but that one's okay, that one's okay. That's okay. There's actual gameplay, and honestly, it looks fine.
Oh, you sound. I don't even think we scratched it. Smells like magic, if you ask me. A thicket of thorns to ward away the less persistent. You could burn it up. I have my fire magic back. Can't we just bring a couple torches and clear it out? That makes things simple, but no.
Like, am I crazy
Burn
or
Honda fast enough to counter the thing's regeneration. If you can somehow cut a burn it, sometimes it will work.
am I
Hell of a
crazy or
trouble.
does this actually look okay?
But the Pokemon game, or just
Yep. No, I mean the frame. I'm trying to look at the the video and looking at the frame rate.
the overall
okay,
frame rate looks
okay.
like it's 24 frames.
I don't know.
Or it might be
doesn't-
30 frames. I am pretty sensitive to
I-
like noticing. things.
I would honestly, at this point, my standards for these games have lowered enough that if they could actually hit 30 and keep it at 30,
If they could, then that would be great. But I don't think
then
so.
that would be actually wonderful.
That would be great. Though, I'm a negative Nancy. No, Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not
I know.
holding out hope either. Because like whenever the camera zooms inward, it looks pretty bad.
The brute didn't do anything to you today.
But anyway,
Appreciate your concern, Rue, but I think your worry is misplaced now. What's the matter? I mean, not just here. I've been all over Ilvard, but it's secondary right now. We've got a bigger issue to deal with. What? Yeah, something's going on at the old Forge Tower. Forge Tower, north. A little while ago, it started to glow red. You can hear the steam hissing out in bursts. Yeah. Lava is starting to pour out, and the air in this tower is going hazy with smoke, too. And I can feel your magic there, really strongly. So that's it. Telling you, good solidly, and even enough hanging around here. We can come back to this thing later. Tower seems more like an issue right now, so let's go. Yeah, let's go.